Hi, I'm Maureen Walsh, your state representative from the 16th Legislative District. The last 2 weeks have been very busy, packed with hearings on bills to balance the budget and to raise your taxes. Though Republicans fought long and hard to oppose suspending the voter-approved Taxpayer Protection Act, the House passed the measure. Once the governor signs the bill, the legislature will only need a simple majority to increase your taxes and fees. Here's what I said on the House floor.
I am afraid that what we're doing is we are kind of putting a Band-Aid on the situation here. That's my concern. We're going to come back next year, folks, and we're going to be facing this incredible deficit again. And so if we don't take some action to really make some conscientious cuts to what we're doing and realize some efficiencies in this government, I'm afraid we are going to be right back in the same boat. I love some of the programs this state does. I support them. I sometimes get kicked to the curb in my caucus because I support some of the good programs that we have in this state. But I gotta tell you, I do think that we can do things better, and I think not only can we do things better, I think we must do things better. I think we owe that to our constituency out there. I have a small business, so I'm a real warm and fuzzy person who wants to make sure that we do right by the people of the state, especially those who are really suffering. The other night we talked about the GAU program, and we kept referring to those people as the most vulnerable people in the state. I beg to differ. The people that don't have a choice in the matter, the people in the wheelchairs that the good gentleman referred to earlier, those are the folks that are the most vulnerable. The people with disabilities that are born that way, those are the folks that are the most vulnerable, the ones that we really need to step up and help. And I truly believe we can do that. I've even signed onto a couple of bills to allow for that to happen, and it was a difficult choice for me to make, but that's why I'm here. Those are the people that need our help. But we're not going to get any better if we don't make the situation in this state better. We need jobs. Jobs are what are going to stimulate this economy. Jobs are going to bring in that essential revenue that we all need. That's what it's all about. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you, I have a quote here I would love to be able to read, if you will allow me. It's not very long.
What are you reading from, Representative Walsh?
Actually off my computer screen, because it came from a little piece of paper that I have in a Peter Max painting that hangs in my office. And it's just a little piece of paper, and I read this quote. It was by a Dr. Adrian Rogers. For the life of me, I don't even know who that person is, but I loved what they had to say.
I think you've sourced it well enough. Please proceed.
Thank you. The quote is this: "You cannot legislate the poor into freedom by legislating the wealthy out of freedom. What one person receives without working for, another person must work for without receiving. The government cannot give to anybody anything that the government does not first take from somebody else. When half of the people get the idea that they do not have to work because the other half is going to take care of them, and when the other half gets the idea that it does no good to work because somebody else is going to get what they work for, that, my dear friend, is about the end of any nation. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it." This is from 1931. This rings true today. I just really think that shot in the arm that we need is not asking the people who are hurting so much right now, and I'm one of them. I've got a small business, but you know what? I feel blessed. I still have a roof over my head. I'm not one of my peers who used to be the giver. I'm not standing in the soup line waiting for food. I'm not going to try to get welfare or food stamps or any of the benefits that I know this very generous state is very generous in giving. And again, if the need is there, sure, let's address that need. Let's do that. But the best thing we can do is get folks working. And the way we do that is we help our employers to make those jobs so that those folks can work. That's really where we should be focusing our efforts. I'd love to scrap this thing. I'd love to come back and sit down with all of you and say, come on, let's really put a concerted effort into trying to find a way to get out of this situation. It's very difficult, and it's going to be very difficult. One of the things I said to my constituents before I came over here this year, when I knew that we were going to be facing this horrible budget, I see a silver lining on this. I tend to see the glass half full anyway in life, and thank God I'm like that, because the day I start seeing it half empty is the day I am so out of here. But I told those folks, I said, I look forward to this because frankly, it means the majority party will reach across the aisle, will start listening to some of our ideas and try to really work with us to get out of this.
The same day the House voted to suspend Initiative 960, the governor unveiled her proposals to increase taxes. She's proposing to increase taxes on candy, gum, bottled water, cigarettes, and a hazardous cleanup tax on oil companies that will ultimately increase your gas taxes. I'm disappointed that taxes have been the first resort used to close our $2.8 billion budget gap, rather than the last resort as the people asked. I will continue to advocate for a more efficient government that delivers services to the most needy in our state, those who simply cannot help themselves. We have to prioritize our spending with your tax dollars and, more than anything, create jobs so folks can get back to work and provide for themselves and their families. In closing, I'd just like to say, I always appreciate hearing from you and welcome your ideas, comments, and feedback. If I can ever be of assistance to you in any way, please let me know by calling, writing, or sending me an email. Thanks for taking the time to listen today. It is an honor to be your state representative. I'm Maureen Walsh, and I'll talk to you again soon.